Hastings Kamuzu Banda's story begins in the dust of Kasungu. Born sometime between 1896 and 1906, a man whose very age was in negotiation with history. Even his earliest records blur, as if foreshadowing a life built on self-definition. As a young man, he left for South Africa with dreams of Lovedale College, but instead spent a decade in the Witwatersrand mines. Those years underground hardened him, teaching endurance before education, chiseling discipline into his character. From there, his journey stretched across continents: Chicago, Nashville, Edinburgh. He became the scholar doctor, collecting degrees like rungs on a ladder, Presbyterian rigor fused with anatomical precision. Medicine gave him a scalpel, but politics would become his sharper instrument. When Banda returned to Nyasaland, he was no longer just a doctor, he was the nationalist fulcrum. His rallies carried the restless energy of a people ready to shed colonial rule. By 1964 he was Prime Minister, and by 1966, President of the newly named Malawi. The title expanded into Ngwazi, Conqueror, and soon into Life President. His governance was marked by order and control, newspapers redacted, opposition silenced, the state disciplined into obedience. Economically, he favored conservatism, stability over experiment, predictability over risk. For 3 decades, Malawi's pulse was measured by Banda's hand, steady but unyielding. Yet international pressure mounted, and reform arrived, not as conversion but concession. In 1994, Banda's long grip loosened, the ballot spoke, and succession followed. 3 years later, in Johannesburg, his life ended quietly on the 25th of November, 1997. Malawi buried its first president, but history kept its autopsy open. He was a man who measured a nation's heartbeat with a surgeon's hand and held it. The question that lingers is not what he built, but what remains.